Hello! So previously we've looked at horror movies involving witches and witchcraft, but today we're going to look at some alien horror movies that you've never seen before. So let's take a look. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Stu and I like to recommend movies and TV series, things like that, that are little hidden gems, things that you've never seen before. But I do things quite spoiler free, so there will be clips of the movie trailers in this video, but I do tend to cut out anything that I think might actually spoil the movie. So let's have a look at some alien horror movies. So first up, we have a movie called Significant Other, and this is about a couple who go into the woods hiking, which always ends well, let's face it, and they start to discover that something's not right in the woods and that there's something there that might be extraterrestrial and might be starting to mess with them. I won't give too much away on this one, but obviously both of them have very, very different experiences when it comes to encountering what is actually in the woods. So I loved this movie. I thought it was really fun. There was a little bit of tongue-in-cheekness about it. It was very self-aware. It had some great special effects and also not a lot of cast. I do like movies where they've got like a very, very small cast but still manage to tell like a really compelling tale. It's currently available on Paramount Plus, but I think it's also on DVD as well. I had a great time watching this, so go and check it out. Next up, we have a Russian movie called Sputnik. So being Russian, this is a movie with subtitles. I absolutely loved this movie. It's probably one of the most tense and nerve-wracking sci-fi movies that I've watched in a long time. So this one is about a psychiatrist who is brought to a military base to investigate and speak to an astronaut who's just come back from space and has appeared to have brought back something with him, which actually might be inside him. I was really impressed by the tension building and the special effects in this movie. I just was blown away by it. So if you can, watch it in a dark room with the sound all the way up, as most horror movies should be. But yeah, check out Sputnik. I really, really enjoyed it. Next up, we have a movie called Annihilation, which I've mentioned on this channel before in one of my sci-fi top 10s, and this one just, it needs to be seen to be believed, basically. So Annihilation is about a team of scientists with a fantastic cast. So it's led by Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, and Jennifer Jason Leigh, and they are going into this sort of otherworldly dome, which is called the Shimmer, and inside the Shimmer, lots of really crazy things are starting to happen to nature. Without going into too much detail, some of the sort of special effects and some of the things that happen within this space are just breathtaking. They look like nothing else you've seen, and there's a couple of scenes that are very, very disturbing. I really like this movie. It's stunning to look at. It looks beautiful. And it's got a great cast, as I mentioned. Oscar Isaac has got a part in this as well, but it's a very minor role. Yeah, if you can find Annihilation, I know it's on Netflix here in the UK, but just go and watch it. It's a fantastic sci-fi movie. So next up, from 2014, we have a movie simply called Alien Abduction, and this one is a found footage horror movie. Now, anyone who's a fan of the channel will know I love me some found footage movies. I've done several list videos on them. They're my most popular videos on my channel, and this is going to be on one of them at some point. I loved this movie. So it's all about a little boy who happens to be autistic, and he is documenting some time with his family when he starts to uncover the sort of alien goings on and abductions that are happening. So everything is filmed, as we know with found footage movies, but the way it's done seems to kind of make sense and feels very authentic. I really enjoyed the effects in this movie. It was done very well. Now, this movie does claim, like quite a few found footage movies, that it's based on true events, and this one happens to be based on the Brown Mountain Lights in North Carolina. I think that this one was kind of overlooked by a lot of sort of found footage lists, or just people who like horror in general, just because of the title. It's so obvious and it's so throwaway. Alien Abduction gives you everything you need to know, but I really enjoyed this. So if you can find it, go check it out. So next up we have another kind of found footage movie, and that is called The Fourth Kind. Now this one was very famous when it came out. It was around the time of the Blair Witch Project, but for some reason it just doesn't get talked about today, and I know quite a few people who haven't seen it yet. This one is also based on true events, and this one is kind of like found footage and documentary style and mockumentary style all in one. So we have actress Mila Jovovich, who not only narrates this but also plays a psychologist who is talking to people in a small town who are actually experiencing sort of alien phenomena, and it sort of intersplices with supposedly sort of real footage of these interviews, and then there are also dramatizations of the sort of interactions that she's having with her patients. I really love this movie still after all these years. I think it's fantastic, and whenever I remind people of it who have seen it, they instantly want to go and watch it again. Anyone who hasn't seen it, who I've showed it to, has absolutely loved it. It's just so much fun, it's really good, and if you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out. The Fourth Kind is great. So next up we have another movie that we've talked about before on this channel, and that is Under the Skin. And this is a great mind-bending little sci-fi horror, and it stars Scarlett Johansson. She is in Scotland as an alien, basically driving around picking up men and kind of luring them to their doom. She does a great British accent in this, I have to admit, and also does a really great job of just seeming like she's trying to learn about humanity and understand what's going on, whilst also being a little bit creepy. There's some really stunning visuals in this, and some of them I think have kind of been ripped off by a few things recently, but this is just a wonderful sci-fi movie with some pretty scary scenes in it, some pretty weird stuff going on. If you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out and just let me know what you think. So now we have a movie simply called Life. Now this one has kind of an all-star cast. It's Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds and Rebecca Ferguson. Haruki Sanada's in it, and it's just a great sort of sci-fi space movie. Now this one, all of the crew are up in space and they discover an alien life form, and of course they want to bring it on board. When they start to do tests on it, they realize that this tiny little organism is actually very, very much aware of what's going on, and it's quite hostile, and it starts to kind of wreak havoc around the ship. It's very disturbing. It has a really great quality to the special effects of the organism. It has a quality that makes you think that it's causing people a lot of pain. The cast are wonderful in this. I feel like it's one that's not talked about very often, and maybe this flew under the radar as well, but I really like this movie. I like a lot of space movies, but this one I feel like has that kind of strange claustrophobic feel, and the special effects when they're in zero gravity work perfectly. They look so seamless, and it makes you feel like they are actually in space. So if you can go and track down Life, go and check it out. So now we have a movie which is probably the most famous one on this list, I think, but a few people still haven't seen it yet, and it always surprises me. So this one is called The Mist. This is based on a Stephen King novel, and this is all about a group of people who get trapped in a supermarket after some really bad storms, and while they're trapped there, this sort of mysterious mist completely takes over the town and you can't see anything, and in the mist there are some otherworldly things, let's put it that way. This one I had to put on here because not only does it have a fantastic cast of people who are in various TV shows and movies after this, but also it's very, very tense. It's very good at sort of making you feel like you're claustrophobic and trapped and getting really frustrated with all these people, but also it has one of the most iconic endings in horror history. I think it's very polarizing, but I think it's incredible and very memorable. So if you haven't seen The Mist yet, go and check it out. There's also a TV series of The Mist as well, which I haven't started yet, so I can't report on that, but once I give it a go, I'll let you know on this channel whether I think that you should watch it or not. But yeah, go and check out The Mist, because if you haven't seen it, you will be talking about it for a long time. So now we have another movie that I think has slipped under the radar for a lot of people, and I cannot believe people aren't talking about this one. It's called The Signal. So this one stars Lawrence Fishburne and Brenton Thwaites, who was Nightwing in the Titans TV series. And this is all about three friends who are trying to track down this really vicious hacker who is trying to mess with their lives. But when they do that, they stumble upon this sort of ominous signal and get basically abducted by what they think is the government and sort of tested on and interviewed. It's a really, really strange one that I wouldn't say this is out and out horror, but definitely has elements of horror and body horror at that. This is a movie that really surprised me. I can't believe that people aren't talking about this one. So it's very action packed. It looks amazing. It's very creative and there's some great special effects in it, but also just wonderful performances and some moments that are sort of jaw dropping. They just look so sort of epic. So if you haven't seen The Signal yet, go into it with an open mind and just enjoy it for what it is. It's just really, really entertaining. And it's one of those movies that once you've seen it, you'll want to show it to other people as well, because like I said, not many people have heard about this and it really surprises me. So go and check it out. So before our final pick, I want to hear from you. So are there any alien movies that didn't make this list that you think I should be talking about? Now, obviously we know about all the xenomorph movies and Species and things like that. But I want to know, are there any movies that you think should be on one of these lists that I haven't mentioned? Also, thank you to all the people who have subscribed and also commented on loads of my videos. You've given me so many amazing things to watch, so many great recommendations. So I'm very, very grateful. And if we get more suggestions for alien horror movies, I will do a follow-up to this one with even more once I've watched them all. So yeah, pop all your suggestions in the comments and let me know what you think. So for our final pick, this is the movie that I've watched most recently, and this one is called No One Will Save You. This was incredible. So it's another one with a tiny cast. It probably has about 2 or 3 people in it. So this one is kind of like a home invasion movie with a twist. This is all about a girl in a small town who is home alone in her family home, and she starts to be invaded by an alien. And the special effects in this are pretty good. The alien is quite solid. It kind of looks like a mixture of a couple of aliens that we've seen recently in movies. This is one of those movies where it feels like the stakes are very high, even though it has a really small premise. So it's basically just her being terrorized and trying to sort of defend her home. I have to say, this movie absolutely blew me away. I thought it was just so compelling and sort of had me on the edge of my seat for most of it. It was just really, really cleverly done and just great performances. I watched it on Disney Plus. I know that it's available on Hulu elsewhere. I'm quite sad that it didn't get a wider release, so not a lot of people know about this one either, but if you haven't seen it yet, No One Will Save You is quality. Just go and find it, go and watch it. You will enjoy it. It's great. So that's it. That's 10 alien horror movies that you might not have seen. Now, if you go away and watch any of these movies, make sure you come back and let me know if you like it in the comments, and we'll have a little bit of a chat about it. If there are any movies that you think should be on this list or should be on the next one, also comment below so that we know for next time, and it also gives me some nice stuff to watch. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.